Hello everyone, Rebecca McPhee here, accredited practicing dietitian and health coach. A common question people ask me is how to eat healthy on a budget. And it is true, we've all felt the pinch in the rising cost of fruit and vegetables, but there are some simple things you can do every day that will not only help you to keep to your budget, but also you will save money and keep to your healthy eating plan. Probably the biggest tip I can provide is to always buy fruit and vegetables in season, because they will not only be at their nutritional peak and taste better, but they'll also be cheaper. So there's no point buying a fresh tomato in winter when they don't taste good and are very, very expensive. That's when we'll go for more of the canned varieties. At the moment, we have just hit winter. So what is on special is a lot of your citrus, and citrus are great fruits that you can eat to keep up that immune system nice and strong during the cooler months. And also apples and pears are still a pretty good price. But what you can do with citrus, and this is what I always do, because sometimes throughout the year, if you're not lucky to have a lemon or lime tree like myself, the cost of limes and lemons do go up. So in winter, I always squeeze lemon and lime juice in an ice cube tray, and I'll always have it on hand because I do use a lot of lemon and lime in cooking. The other thing you can do is shop local. And what I mean by that is look around for a local greengrocer if you're lucky to have one. Where I live, we have a greengrocer that has a very big turnover of fruit and vegetables. So they are always very fresh and the price is much, much cheaper than the supermarket. And you're keeping a local person in business. But also with the local butcher and fishmonger, if you have those types of food outlets, have a look there as well, because if you can afford to buy bulk, buy what's on special and buy in bulk, and then you can divvy up the protein portions or batch cook. And what I mean by batch cook is it is where you get a recipe and cook it double or triple the amount, and then you portion it up into containers. So by buying bulk, you can make up a lot of your home-ready meals that are on hand in the freezer. So those days where you come home and you're too tired, or maybe you're too sick, or maybe you live alone and you find it not very motivating to cook, if you take the time to batch cook and put them in some good containers, you'll always have food on hand. And that brings me to my next point, is to invest in what I call tools of the trade for the kitchen. I bought these beautiful glass containers. They were 50% off at a local department store. So I always wait for sales to come on, and I bought 2 big boxes of them because they last. And that way, when you've got different sizes, you will portion your food correctly. I've also got measuring cups. I'm a huge fan of measuring cups because I know if I use these measuring cups, particularly with carbohydrates, I will keep to how much I need to eat, but my food will last longer. I will find I'll get more out of a recipe. So not only will you save money by having more servings, it will actually help manage blood glucose levels, particularly if you're eating carbohydrates, and it will also help with the waistline because you're reducing calories. I've also got the measurement spoons as well. Now, when fruit and vegetables are not in season, you can go for frozen and canned varieties. So I've got some blueberries here frozen because at the moment they are very expensive in the supermarket. So they are great to put on some oats or in baking. I've got some frozen bananas. So in summer they were quite cheap. So I bought them when they were quite ripe and put them in this little Ziploc bag, which are great for smoothies and also for baking, healthy baking. I've also got peas. Now I have an issue with food pouring, so I tend to overcook peas and then I end up wasting them. I have the best intention to use them the next day and then I forget about them. They're in the back of the fridge. So what I've started to do is portion them out in Snaplock bags, because then I have the exact amount that I need and there's no wastage. You save money. I've got cauliflower rice only because it was on special and I have a very busy couple of weeks, so it is great to have on hand. I usually make it myself, but it was a great price and something great to have in the freezer because most frozen products will last around 3 months. And your canned varieties, so I mentioned tin tomatoes before, and so in winter, Forget the raw tomatoes, forget your caprese salads. You want winter warming casseroles and soups and bologneses. You want really winter warming foods. And did you know that cooked tomatoes have more of the antioxidant lycopene in it compared to a raw tomato? So, there are some benefits to eating around the seasons. Canned peas and carrots are also are also something you can go for, and 100% tomato paste. Again, you're getting a really good intake of that lycopene. And can you see what I'm talking about here? These are all whole foods. They are nature's own. We've got fruits and the vegetables. We're talking about fresh produce, frozen plant foods. So an increase in plant foods in your diet will not only help to reduce the risk of diabetes or help manage your diabetes, it can actually help with reducing the risk of heart disease and some cancers. You're basing your eating on the Mediterranean diet. And in saying that, when meat is particularly expensive, go for more of the legumes, so canned legumes. You can reduce the quantity of meat or chicken, for example, and add a can of legumes. Again, you're adding plant foods and some healthy carbohydrates, which are portioned out, because a whole can to serve 6 people is quite a small amount of carbohydrates. So again, you're still keeping within a diabetes management plan. So hopefully there are some little tips here that you will find beneficial to help you save money, but also keep you on track with your diabetes plan.